Hey everybody, this is Joe and welcome to a first video in a series on working with lists in Python. This is all part of my Python basics, and I want to talk to you about lists and how lists work. So you can see I've got my little comment here, which is my title, which I normally do, where I have the title, my name, and then the date. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump right in and start working with lists. So I want to create a list that is called animals, and while I'm talking I'll just type that, and so let's have a look. I'm going to populate it with some string values, so I'm just going to say with string values assigned to it. Right, any spelling mistakes? No. Right, cool. I'm going to obviously call this one now animals, so I'm going to put my equal sign, and then very important, what differentiates lists or arrays, in Python it's sort of the same thing, but what differentiates them from variables, because you probably recognize the single equal sign, that means whatever values on this side will be assigned to the name or identifier on the other side, which has a storage in memory. Is the square brackets. So you can see you're working with a list if you have square brackets. So I'm just going to add a few string values. So I've got how many? 4 there, and then it's going to have 5. So let's put in some animals. So let's start with lion. There we go. Cool. So we've got lion. I'm going to put in goose, maybe zebra, and as you can see I'm just putting in them randomly. I'll put cat and dog just to finish it off. So I have 5 values in my list called animals. So so if you want to print this, you want to output this to screen, then you can say print, and you can just print your list name, which is animals, and if I run this, it's going to show the values that I have inside there. So just before I print that, let me just say I've got my string value. So I've got lion. You know it's string because it's got quotation marks around it, and it's comma separated, as you can see, all the way through. So I've got my string values, 5 of them. Oops, there, and then the dog as well. So let's print that F5. I must be already named this, so I'm just going to bring that around over. Whoops. Let me try that again. Just bring this around here. Let me just print that again so you can see it'll come for a second time. There we go. So we've got lion, goose, zebra, cat, and dog, and that is how it is printed. So let me just close that again. But you can also, because a list like this one is made up of, in this case, there's 5 values, and you know computer always starts counting at 0, so that is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I could also just print 1 if I wanted to. I can say animals, and if I say 0, that should be theoretically the first of my values. That should be lion, and again it's just going on my other screen. I'll just bring this around. So there we've got lion. If I change that, for example, to let's say 3, that should be 0, 1, 2. That should be cat when I print this one. So I'm just going to run this one again, and you'll see cat should come up. There we go. We've got cat. And so on. And if I just do a final one, just to solve it out, or just to show you again, I'll do 1, and that should be goose coming up there. So there we go. So we've got goose. Let me close that. So that is just if you wanted to print individual elements from your list. But that is not the purpose for today's one. I was just looking at the list in general. So we've got a collection of variables here. So theoretically, animals 0 is equal to that, animals 1 is equal to goose, animals 2 is equal to zebra, and so on. So I think you get that now. So let me just put this one, just comment that, output list. There we go. So that is sorted out, and I'll just run that again so you can see, and I'll just have to grab this again from there. You can see we've got our list. So I'm just going to close that one, and we'll continue with the next one. So let's say we want to print our list in reverse order. So I'm just going to write there, output list in reverse order, something like that. And so first of all, I'm going to use the animals or the list name, which is animals, and I'm going to say dot reverse, and that is a function that we are using. You know it's a function because there's some sort of a name, and immediately following we have rounded open and closing brackets. And if I just run that, obviously nothing's going to happen. I'll just bring that around. It'll just output the first part that we had here in terms of animals, but there's no reverse order. So let me just close that, and then I'm going to print. Again, it's a print function. We know that because it's got the word, and it also has the brackets, open and closing brackets. But now I've got my name, and I've got my name, so I should have two that's going to print out. So two lists, one that is in order and one that's in reverse. Let me just save that, and oops, and bring this around, and you can see we have our original list over there, and then we have our reverse of the list. As you can see, we've got dog, it was at the end, and lion is at the end, that was at the beginning, and so on. So we just printed the reverse of our list. And remember, we use our list name with a dot notation and then the function that we want to apply. Right, let's go to the next one, and that's going to be, how do we print something in alphabetical order? How do we sort it? So we're going to output our list in alphabet. Is it two T's, one T? I think it's one T. Alphabetical order. Output list in alphabetical order, and the function that we use is going to be sort. And you know it's a function again because you have your name and your opening and closing bracket. So I'm going to print it. So let's have a look. Now we should have three lists coming up: the original one, the reverse one, and then it should be one in alphabetical order using the sort function with animals. So I'm going to F5 that, save, bring that around. There we go. Bring that around from here, and we've got that. I'm not going to close it this time, so it can pop up here automatically. So and that's it. So we've done reverse, we've done sort. So what about if we want to add? If we want to add something, now the technical term for adding an item to a list is append. So we're going to say append. Let's put, I don't know, hippo. Let's append hippo to the list, and I'll just say plus output. Cool. So we are going to say animals, because that's our name of list, using dot notation, and append is the technical term, and we want to use the animal hippo is what we want to append, and to see that it has been added to the end of our list, we can print that out, animals, and if I run that, theoretically it'll come up with that. So we've got our original, we've got our reverse, we've got our alphabetical, C, D, and so on, and then we've added hippo now, or appended it to the end of the list. So it's a simple, oh, I closed it, so sorry, let me just run that again. I'll run that, bring that around, so I'll just have it over here. Cool. And the final thing I want to do for this video is how do we delete? How do we delete an item from the list? So we want to remove or delete hippo from the list, and obviously I want to output it as well. If you're following these and you are in sort of year 10, 11 or 12 and 13 thereabouts, you are expected to also comment your code. So it is important that you comment the code. Just remember that your program does not actually run those lines of code. If it has the hashtag in front, it actually just ignores everything on the right hand side of that. So we want to get rid of hippo. There we go. So remove, it means delete hippo from the list. That should not be an equal sign, that should be a plus. There we go. So animals.remove hippo, and then we have to output using the print function, and it's going to be animals again. I probably should have just copied and pasted that all the time, seeing that I've done it 5 times. But let's see. So we should have one that's just an original list. Then we're going to have the reverse, then we're going to have the sort in alphabetical, then we're going to add or append hippo, and then we're going to remove hippo. So F5 and enter will give us that. So there we've added the hippo, and then it's nowhere to be seen over there. So that's just some basics of working with lists. So we've learned how to create a list that has items in it. We've learned how to output those lists using the identifier or name of the list. We learned how to reverse the order of the list, how to sort it alphabetically, how to append an item or value to the list, and then how to get rid of an item of the list items. So in our next video, we will be looking at how to start from a blank list, an empty list, and then how we populate it using random numbers or something like that, and the for loop and things like that. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe if you have not done so already, and to see more of my videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.